Hey guys, what's going on? This is probably going to be one of the only posts I'll be making this month that's not Star Wars related, but I just got home a little bit ago from an Alice Cooper concert that I absolutely just had to tell you guys about because it was such a crazy experience. I don't want to say crazy, crazy might be a bit of an exaggeration, but it was such a unique experience. It blew my mind. I've never been to an Alice Cooper concert before. I only know a couple of songs, like actually know a couple of their songs. Excuse me. I only know a couple of their songs. And I spent the day listening to some of their other music, and yes, they got some pretty good stuff, so I was really excited to go. I'd been invited a while back, but I kept forgetting. Anyways, so one of the things I really want to start all of this with is the experience I actually had on the way home. We're gonna start at the ending and go to the beginning. On my way home, I saw one of the most hilarious things while I was driving. There was a tow truck driving down the road. I don't know what like instigated this. I'm going to assume that I think it was the Toyota Corolla. I think it was an '08 Toyota Corolla, one of the older ones. Anyways, the small sedan type vehicle that was behind this tow truck. I think he was flashing the tow truck driver. So the tow truck driver has enough of his shit and decides to turn on like three really bright white lights that he had mounted on the back of the truck for his towing, and just absolutely ego checked the shit out of the dude in the little car behind him. Now, funny enough, I thought this was hilarious, mind you. A little while later, this dude's on my ass now, so it's not so funny anymore. I'm like, oh my God, like this tow truck's headlights are really bright. And at first, I had no beef with this guy. I just wanted to let him know his headlights were in my mirrors and that I didn't like it. So I changed my mirror angles to reflect them directly back at the light back at anybody behind me. And he definitely got the message at first because only seconds after I did it, he moved to the lane over to my right, and we didn't really have another problem. And then all of a sudden, I'm driving, I'm chilling, I'm doing 80. This dude's riding my ass. I'm like, what the fuck? So I dusted him because he's got this big ass truck that takes a while to build speed. So I used my escape to dust him. And again, after I finally get a comfortable speed that isn't blowing my engine out of the fucking compartment, he just comes out of nowhere. And now I'm not the type to usually move over for anybody, especially if I'm not driving slow. I'm not going to move over for you. I'm already doing 80 down the highway in the speeding section. If you want to speed that much faster, you can make an illegal pass around my right side and go zipping down that highway if you want. I'll let you be the bait for the police so that way I can keep zipping. Anyways, this guy caused me a little bit of trouble after he was causing trouble for the other guy. And it was an experience. I mean, I thought it was so funny until it happened to me. I'm just glad because after everything I had been doing to him with the whole flashing him back with his own lights, he gets in front of me finally after a while. He snuck up on me. He must have like fallen back really far and then built up the speed to pass me because he goes flying past me at one point, and then I was like, oh man, now he's gonna fucking flashbang me. He didn't. Thank God. I didn't want my retinas burned out, but he didn't. So there's that. That was what happened on my way home. That was the interesting experience I had that I had some fun with. While I was at the concert, I had gotten there very late. I had missed the openers. I missed a good half of the actual Alice Cooper show. But by the time I sat down with my beer, because I had been at work, so I had to come home, get ready, leave here, and it was still another hour drive out to Foxwoods in Connecticut from Massachusetts. So that sucked. But anyways, by the time I get there, I sat down with my beer and handed my buddy his beer. They're like halfway through their act, and like I've seen a lot of performers. I've seen Green Day, I've seen um Kiss, I have seen Who else have I seen? Fallout Boy. They were at the same thing that Green Day were at. Um, Weezer, I've seen Weezer. Weezer was also at the thing Green Day was at. But yeah, I've seen quite a few concerts, and I would say that the for a while my favorite concert above every other concert, like even the Guns N' Roses concert that I got this shirt at. Let's see, what does it say? Uh, 2016 North American tour. It says "Not in This Lifetime," motherfucker, on the back, because I'm pretty sure that was the actual tour name. Uh, that had something to do with the last thing that Axl Rose told the guys before he left the band for good, before he came back, and they started that tour. I thought that was hilarious. What a witty little way to rub it in on Axl. But anyways, going back to my main point, I started getting away from it. I've been to a lot of concerts for the most part, and this was something else because Alice Cooper and his band put on such a performance for every song. Not every song, but most of the songs have like a skit with costumes and not necessarily jokes, but just some humorous parts in the lines of the songs. Um there was some songs that I actually had clarified for me by these skits that they were doing. For example, there's a song they have that starts with audio of a little girl asking her mother when she thinks that her father will be back. And I figured it was just an abandonment situation, like that was just all it was. Now, I get to the concert and I see the skit that they've got going on, and Alice Cooper comes out in a straitjacket, and there's an animation going on in the background of like asylum shit, and it was really cool. But I was just like, what the fuck is going on in here? They had one song where his wife, mind you, I didn't know it was his wife. I had no idea until he said it at the end of the concert, and he was like introducing all of his bandmates. Yeah, his wife was half naked-ish on the stage in leather stripped clothes. Not anything too revealing, like her pussy wasn't out. Not no Kanye's wife shit. But yeah, no, she was in some very suggestive leather clothing that with a whip, just cracking that shit like Halle Berry in Catwoman. Like, oh my God, it was crazy work. And then on top of that, his guitarists, his I think he's got a bassist, a secondary bassist, or sorry, it's a guitarist and a backup guitarist that sometimes play together. They have the bassist and then somebody else as well. But this one of their guitarists is this woman who, funny enough, I at first had to actually ask my friend that if she was a woman, not because she's ugly or looks like a man or anything, but simply because I was looking at the way she was dressed, and the way she was dressed didn't really reveal anything about her form. I just thought she was a long-haired rock star, man, until the camera did a zoom in on her face and I saw her like feminine features, and I was like, "Whoa! Oh, okay." It's surprised. I had no idea that there was a woman in the band on Alice Cooper. I had no idea, except for, Alice Cooper's wife. Um, but oh man, it was just so cool. Like he was talking to us constantly. Like he had the constant costume changes. He had everything going on. Here's something. Like I mentioned, with the way he had his wife come out with the whip and whatnot. There was a part where he was like, not tying her up in it, but he had her wrapped up in it, and then they were like play fighting because it had something to do with the dialogue of the song about violent acts on stage. And so they're like play fighting as he's got her wrapped up in the whip he's now stolen directly from her hands. She comes out on stage at one point for another song dressed in Victorian era like uh, high class clothes, so like the big poofy stuff with the white makeup, kind of looking like a Naboo princess, like that kind of shit. And fucking cuts his head off in a guillotine. He was in a guillotine, and then they obviously did a switch and put a dummy of him in the guillotine, and then they chopped the head off the guillotine. And now for the next part of the rest of the song, she's literally dancing around like some sort of like war dance with his severed head in her hands. And I was just like, whoa, this level of like physical messaging would not usually be seen with any other band, if even being allowed by the venue. I thought it was such a crazy experience. And I loved every second of it. It totally made up for the fact that I made it there late and didn't actually get to experience the whole concert. I will admit I was actually glad I made it late because I'm not one of those people that likes being at concerts for too long. I don't even like being at the movies for too long. I just can't stand sitting in that one spot, not being able to get up and wander around. It's my ADHD. I just can't. I don't like it. I can do it, but I just don't like it. I totally lost my train of thought, so I had to rewind my own clip and see where I left off. I was talking obviously about the Alice Cooper concert and just how theatrical it was. The performances were insane. The guitarists were so skilled. Not every member of the band is even left. I think there's only one original member of the band left. He introduced him during the ending sequence that they did, and you could tell he was one of the only members because he looked just as old as Alice did. The rest of them were all like shit. Some of them might have only been like 8 years older than me maximum. Nah, I mean, I'm 25, so 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. That's not bad. 33-year-olds, like at the maybe the oldest 35 max. They didn't look too old. I and especially not that one lady guitarist, especially, dude. Oh my God, I got distracted from talking about her. She could shred a guitar. As she was as good at shredding that guitar as she was beautiful. And that's not even no disrespect to my girlfriend. She was wow. There was just everything just wow. It was such a performance in the way that a ballerina has beauty almost. It's like it was just so stunning watching her just fucking flinging her hair around and shit. It was crazy. I've only ever seen one woman rock out that hard before. It was years ago when I was a kid. It was like one of my first concerts ever, actually. It was some little thing that was being thrown by a bunch of kids that had their own kid bands, and it was awesome. That concert was my first concert where I saw a chick undress herself. It was the woman on stage. She fucking took her pants off and she had boxes on underneath. She threw her pants into the crowd. It was wild. Rewinding, anyways, this was completely different from that because there was just such not I wouldn't say serenity because like I said, she was rocking the fuck out, but to somebody who likes rock music, it was serene. The skill she was displaying. Like, fuck, Slash and some guitarists like that would probably be proud of her skills. That top-notch guitar work. Um, let's see. The same thing goes for their other members, by the way. The other guitarists they have, they didn't get to shred like the others, but their drummer did. Their drummer got to go crazy. He went off on those drums. He got to do one whole solo just by himself. I had so much fun with this concert. I think I've run in circles too many times. I think I'm gonna to wrap this up here, and I will definitely do another one of these going into more detail about the Alice Cooper concert if you guys want me to, unless you think, of course, I covered enough here. And if you did, still definitely let me know in the comments. Like I said, this is going to be probably the only non-Star Wars thing that gets posted for like the next week because we still have another week or so of Star Wars week. So let's enjoy it. Thanks you guys for watching. I love you so much. I will see you next time. Cosmonauts.